we're going to talk about composition in art. Composition in art is the way objects are arranged within a frame. So everything in art has elements. And like if you were going to make a landscape, there's mountains, there's trees, maybe there's a house, you know where to put those things so that they look good. Basically, that's what composition is. It's putting things where they belong so that they relate to each other and they all look the way that you want them to look. Composition is the term used for the arrangements of the elements in or the subject matter of a painting. Done successfully, it draws in the viewer and pulls in their eye across the whole painting so that everything is taken in and finally settles on the main subject of the painting. Elements of a successful composition are that it emphasizes important elements in the art, it guides the viewer's eye throughout the artwork and helps you to understand the work. It creates an aesthetically pleasing harmony. Henri Matisse is a famous artist that was a master of composition. And he said, composition is the art of arranging in a decorative manner the diverse elements at the painter's command to express his feelings. One of the rules of composition is called the rule of thirds, and it is basically where you divide everything up into boxes or thirds, 9 boxes, and the most important things are on the intersection of the boxes. So the most important things are on the intersections of the lines or the boxes, and I'll show you a few examples. Here's one. You can see that the foreground is on this front line. The middle ground is on the middle line, and the tree and the cloud column here are both on the vertical lines on the sides. Let's look at the golden ratio. The golden ratio is math. Whoever said you don't use math in art, you do. The golden ratio is a number that's a ratio of 1.1618. It's also phi, or the Fibonacci sequence, in which the human eye sees beauty and balance. Think of a nautilus shell or a pine cone. So if you were to say, this is 1, this little square right here, then this is 1.168, and so on and so on and so on. And it's a perfectly balanced, gets bigger and bigger, and it can go on to infinity. You'll usually see it as this kind of shape, but if you want to see it in art, this is a perfect example in The Great Wave by the artist Hokusai. Everybody loves this piece, and we know why. It's scientifically proven to be a pretty perfect composition. Let's talk about different types of compositions. There are 2 types of compositions in which things either fall off of the frame or the sides of your artwork, or they are enclosed within the frame of your artwork. The open composition is where the elements of your composition are outside of the frame, so your eye kind of flows through it. Where in a closed composition, everything is enclosed within the frame. The elements of composition in art are used to arrange or organize the components in a way that is pleasing to the artist and hopefully to the viewer. It gives structure to the layout. So your eyes can rest on what's important and your eyes can travel through the work of art. There are types of balance, 3 types of balance in art. Balance means having an arrangement that has a sense of calm. Everything is balanced. And let's talk about the 3 types of balance in art. Number 1 type of balance is symmetry. And you can see it is the same on both sides. It can be a square. It doesn't have to be round. It can be anything. It's just basically the same on both sides. The next one is radial. Everything radiates from a center point. Radial can be symmetrical, but it doesn't have to be. The last one that's a little bit more abstract is called asymmetry. It's where everything is a bit different, but it still feels balanced. So if you were to look at this little example of asymmetry, you have like the dark area right here on the bottom, the dark circle on the bottom balances the yellow because the yellow still has kind of a visual weight to it. And even though the shapes are placed in different angles, they all kind of balance each other out. And we talk about balance in terms of visual weight, and weight is kind of the heaviness in which a visual item has with our eyes. And colors can have different visual weight as well. Look at this picture with the stars and tell yourself which items have the most visual weight to you. Is it the darker colors, the lighter colors, and which shapes have the most visual weight to you? Think about that as you're creating your artwork.